Be the right club. Be the right club today.
Johnny, that's better than most.
How about in?
That is better than most. Better than most.
Expect anything different?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the No Laying Up live show, the No Laying Up podcast presented by our friends at Titleist. My name is DJ. We got a fun trio today. We don't get this trio very often. Me, TC, and Randy, kind of like a bullpen game. Maybe we're trying to save some arms. You know, we got a big series coming up at Aronimink this week. TC, how are you doing, man?
I am fired up, Deej. This is one of the most robust agendas we've ever had before. We got all sorts of transcripts, all sorts of funny notes. Let's get weird, guys.
This is it's going to be good when you get like Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon note from TC. Hey, I'm dropping stuff in. I mean, there's just hundreds of things in this agenda. Randy, I don't know how we're going to get to it all.
Solly always admonishes us when we try to turn this into a trap draw monitoring session, but I truly believe that's what we have today. There's just so much going on.
I love it. Well, it's good to be with you guys. We got a ton of, I mean, if the winners around the world is a sign of how this episode's going to go, I think that says it all. Of course, at the Truist, we've got Kristofer Reitan winning over Rickie Fowler and Nicolai Hojgaard at Quail Hollow. At Myrtle Beach, we've got Brandt Snedeker winning by 1 over Mark Hubbard. I'm excited to talk about that.
Get him on the team.
At the Mizuho LPGA, Jeeno Thitkul defending her title at Mountain Ridge in New Jersey. At LIV DC, we've got Lucas Herbert putting up a historic performance, winning by 4 over Big Tech Sergio Garcia. And
Deej, we had a playoff.
Oh, sure. I wasn't going to spoil
outlasted.
that. I wasn't going to spoil that. I'm sure there's a lot of people hanging on that result for
That's
later.
That's a tease. We're trying to get people to stick around.
Exactly. We got to keep these people around, DC. On the speaking of historic performances, Jesus Christ. On the DP World Tour, Juraj Premlal wins the Catalunya Championship in Spain by 14 shots. Going to talk about that.
63 on the weekend after he's like missed a bunch of cuts in a row. It's unbelievable.
Unbelievable stuff. DC put it at the U.S. Women's 4-ball at Daniel Island. We've got Morgan Ellison and Katie Sheck winning. Wasn't there a note on that one, TC? It was like the oldest winners in tournament history, and they were like
2 oldest winners in tournament history. 23
Score one for the old.
Yeah, I love it. At the Epson Tour, what Cholcheva Wongras. Is that a good pronunciation? You guys down with that?
Yes.
She wins the Reliance Matrix Championship. And on the Hotel Planner Tour, Chris Wood, friend of the program, Chris Wood wins the Italian Challenge Open. You love to see it. Bounce back win for Chris Wood. You guys put that the Miami Redhawks won some sort of MAC championship. I literally don't even know what sport this is for. But congratulations to you.
Men's
to you
golf,
guys.
DJ.
Is that right?
Park the bus
that's
right
fun.
here. This is going to be the meat of the show.
I love it. I thought it was going to be like club hockey or something.
No.
Like men's golf is that's legitimate, a legitimate title. Congratulations.
Yeah, Coach JD Fletcher and the boys got it done. First time in what, 11 years, Randy?
Yeah, 2015, I believe. Coach Fletcher, MAC Coach of the Year. Let's go, baby.
Love to see it. I mentioned at the top,
unseeded Kent State, Kent Reed, Kent Wright.
I think they're going to the UT Austin Regional. Should we go ahead and break that down right now?
We're going to break that down after the break, Big, because we are brought to you by our friends at Titleist, of course. Kristofer Reitan, your winner this week at Quail Hollow, trusting his Titleist Pro V1 to his first career PGA Tour win. We hear tour players say it all the time. It's the only piece of equipment that you use on every single shot. And if you're not playing the right golf ball for your game, it's obviously going to be costing you strokes. Pro V1 offers the greatest combination of speed, spin, and feel, offering low game spin, maximum short game spin, and a mid-flight trajectory and soft feel for Chris. Pro V1 hits the right flight and spin windows and allows him to hit all the shots when he needs to. God, did he hit the shots on 16, 17, 18 there. That was good stuff. Pro V1 X is going to fly in a little higher window. It's going to spin more on full swing shots, and it's going to have a slightly firmer feel. And then there is the Pro V1X left dash, which flies in a higher window, similar to the Pro V1X, but with dramatically lower full spin and even a firmer feel. Head to Titleist.com to learn more about and find out what golf ball is right for you. They got a great golf ball selector tool if you don't have time to do a fitting. Great stuff over there on Titleist.com. Guys, should we do a little, in case you missed it, from the Truist here? Just set the table for what happened.
DJ was a great tournament up until the last 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah.
We were buzzing at about 4:30, 5 p.m. Eastern.
I was buzzing until I wasn't. I think that's not to take anything away from Kristofer Reitan. That was a great dub, and he absolutely went out and got it. But yeah, it was a little bit of a little air came out of the balloon there after Randy's got the best putter in the world. Couldn't quite get it done. We'll get there. Alex Fitzpatrick
on the low side. On the low. What are we doing?
What's going on? Alex Fitzpatrick enters the final round leading by 1 over Kristofer Reitan, and both players shot 64 in the third round, bogey-free 64 for Reitan. Cameron Young started the day 2 shots back after a 63. I almost said some really dumb stuff on Slack about how many shots Cam Young was going to win by today. That would not have aged.
I called him the number 1 player in the world.
Until he wasn't
yesterday.
Until he wasn't. Nightmare starts kind of across the board. Alex Fitzpatrick bogeys the second, doubles the third. Lots of missed shorties, which would become a theme for the day. Cam Young 4-putted the second hole. In fact, Reitan stays calm. He stays steady, leads by 2 after a birdie on the par 3 fourth hole. There's another 2-shot swing at the 5th where Reitan makes bogey and Fitzpatrick makes birdie. Rickie Fowler enters the chat, birdies 9 and 10 to tie the lead, and then this logjam starts to form. We got a kind of a big group at the top. Rickie birdies the drivable par 4 14th. It was a 4-way tie for the lead at that point. Rickie took the outright lead on 15, a truly gross up and down for birdie there on the par 5 15th. And then from 200 yards out at the very difficult 16th, the 550-yard par 4 16th, which I think we'll talk about a little later. Rickie almost holes it from 200 yards, but not able to make the birdie from 8 feet. Maybe should have seen what was coming there. Sungjae, we haven't mentioned him. He's in, somehow up there. It looks like he hasn't really hit a good shot all week, and he's somehow just hanging out up there.
Steve Sands said that he was owed some sort of cosmic karma after the quote bad luck that he had earlier in the week.
He hadn't hit a good shot. He hit the shot of the tournament. What was that?
That was Saturday. Saturday, he absolutely just boned a bunker shot into a grandstand that hit across the green and then hit the grandstand so hard that it bounced all the way back across the green into the same bunker. Never seen anything like it.
I do have one thing. I believe there was somebody in the stands that yelled back to Sungjae from that bunker, "Hey, man, you're supposed to be good if you're trying to hit shots like that." Just like TC at Ponte Vedra.
That's true.
I feel you. No, I mean, Sungjae was embarrassing today.
It was not good. It was not good. He saw himself out of the proceedings, driving it in the water on that same short par 4 14th, making double there. Fitzpatrick refused to go away, made birdies on 10 and 12 and 13 to come back and tie Rickie for the lead. Nicolai Hojgaard makes a scummy ass birdie on 15, yanks it way left, has a 6-iron into the par 5 from the rough, and 2 putts for birdie.
Is this about the time where we started having no fun? When did we hit the inflection point?
Yeah, that's on to my next bullet point here, Randy. Rickie misses the green on 18 from the fairway, 200 yards out, fails to get up and down. Tough chip shot there, leaves himself maybe 8, 9, 10 feet. And as you mentioned, misses it on the low side. He does shoot 65, takes the clubhouse lead at that point at 13 under. And meanwhile, our eventual winner, Kristofer Reitan, birdies 14, birdies 15 to take the outright lead at 15 under. Gets a crazy bounce on 16, drives it right on 16. The ball somehow lands right of the bunker, scoots all the way through the sand, and comes back out into the fairway. Hits his next shot in the greenside bunker, gets it out there to about 12 feet, and then that was the great worm cam of that putter. I mean, just kind of going right in the middle to save par, and then just hits the shots. 17, they're calling it the Green Mile, TC, and he just hits the shots. Great shot on 17. Nuts one in the fairway on 18, middle of the green on
Straight down the middle.
It was straight down the middle on 18, hits the fairway and almost makes it for birdie. Comfy tap in for his first PGA Tour victory. So a lot of preamble for me, but TC, what were your thoughts watching Kristofer Reitan?
Hey, we need to get him on the team. I think Alex Fitzpatrick, like not quite ready for prime time, maybe in these tournaments.
It was volatile. It was
exciting. But I respected it. Yeah, I think the game's there. He's pretty fearless. He put himself in some really, really bad spots those last few holes. Otherwise, man, I just wish there was a path for these guys like Reitan to get in these events. I wish that there was a structure in place that would allow these guys to get in the signature events. Oh wait, this was a signature event?
Yeah, he did win.
It didn't feel like it the last 45 minutes or so.
But Wikipedia and history will reflect, and his bank account will reflect that this was a signature event. I think he won 3.6 milli for this one. Can you
explain how he got in?
Yeah, so going all the way back, just as my colleague there is being slightly facetious about the path to the signature events. Kind of works the way it's supposed to work, right? I mean, this guy that is a very promising player, he's kind of stuck in the wilderness for a while, goes out and balls out on the DP World Tour last year, finishes 8th on the race to Dubai and gets a PGA Tour card, plays good golf. He's kind of right on the edge of getting into these events. He finishes T2 at Zurich, kind of some, a little bit of redemption story here after losing to the Fitzpatricks. He gets the better side of it today. But then he's right on the edge of getting into Doral. So even going back farther, TC, than probably what you're thinking, he's right on the edge of getting into Doral to the point where he's planning like fun golf. He's going to go play Panther National. He's going to just hang out.
I call that fun golf.
he's going to go hang out in South Florida. His caddy, who is Scottish, decides to fly back home to Edinburgh. Just finally, last minute, I think Jake Knapp WDs, Patrick Cantlay WDs. He gets into Doral. So his caddy misses the first round of the Doral event. His swing coach is caddying for him. He flies back across the pond. He's there to caddy for him. He's right on the edge of getting into the Truist as Doral is kind of playing out. He gets to the 18th tee. He's still not in to Doral. Ends up making a double on 18. So seemingly now he's like super not in. But that double leads to Alex Smalley then getting into the Aon next 10, which then leads to Reitan taking his spot in the Aon Swing 5. So then he gets in, and then he fucking wins the tournament, and he makes $3.6 million at Quail Hollow. So I mean, it's just your results may vary. If you're another struggling player trying to get into some of these events, but it certainly worked for him. It's crazy.
Yeah, I felt like there was a lot of guys that could win this down the stretch. Like, I thought Hojgaard had a pretty good look at it. Didn't really play proper golf down the stretch there. Tommy,
are you into this? What you're watching? I mean, him just airmailing greens.
Not really. Somebody
wailing away on the drive. It's pretty unbecoming stuff.
Somebody tweeted earlier that the Hojgaard twins are like the golf equivalent of Dippin' Dots ice cream. Like they've been the future of golf, and they will be the future of golf for the next 20 years.
I feel like I don't at all know what that means, and I also know exactly what that means.
I mean, we're 30 years on to Dippin' Dots, right?
Yeah,
and it's
literally the
still,
ice cream of the future.
And like we're in the future, and it's still not. It hasn't taken off, right? Tommy did some he kind of short-sighted himself on 11. Got his hand caught in the cookie jar with a front pin there. Thought he flagged it and ends up making bogey.
Big. Were you
Harry Hall?
Oh, we got to pause. We'll get to him.
Fleety. What a top 5 for Fleety in a signature event.
He's just gearing up for the Players next week. Just like Cody said that. I think Cam Young lost 5 or 6 shots to the field today on the greens alone.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
We'll get there. This is about Tommy, okay, boys.
I don't know who we're talking about. We're talking about like 5 different players.
Yeah, my observation was
Fleetwood flood the zone here.
Didn't have the gear to chase down Reitan, Rickie, Nicolai Hojgaard, and Alex Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, it's not good, TC, especially at a major championship venue like this.
Not a major championship venue.
It's the Tommy thing was, I don't know. Got the Blackstone hat. I feel like he's just taking 4 or 5% out of everybody's pockets while adding no value.
Such a good, this week.
He's collecting a toll.
Just fees out the ass out there.
He's topping up his shore points.
Randy, you want to talk about Rickie? Because I thought, I enjoyed seeing Rickie up there. I don't. You're a pessimistic, just horrible person who I don't.
Don't put words in my mouth. This was a throwback. I love seeing Rickie up there. Missing the putt on 16. You mentioned the miss on 18. I do have to give him credit. He's obviously playing some good golf, but just in terms of coming down the stretch, will Rickie win or not? It was fun. I felt a little joy seeing him come up short.
There was some.
He's usually so clutch. I don't know what happened today.
He made 22 birdies this week.
Glib.
Tied for first in birdies. He made 8 birdies today.
He famously shot 74 in the first round as well, fighting off a TC coming after you. You're a man after your own heart, battling a sinus infection. He's got a fever of 103.
Got the hater blockers on.
Said he didn't know if he could hit the hole from 3 feet. And he shoots 74 the first round, almost wins the damn golf tournament. I mean, it was good stuff. This is a little bit of a, I don't expect every fan to zoom out to this degree, but if you want to be a Rickie appreciator, I think if you go back to the end of last year, and there's many things we can change about the postseason in the PGA Tour, but if you want to look back at it, he entered the playoffs number 64 in the FedEx Cup, of course, top 50, get into all the signature events this year. Went T6, T7 in the first 2 playoff events. So he missed it. He didn't do enough to get into the top 30, missed the Tour Championship, which meant he missed the Masters this year for the second year in a row. Like, still not quite there, but got into these signature events and now went T9 at Bay Hill, T8 at Heritage, T9 at Cadillac, and runner-up this week.
Playing good golf.
Yeah, which is like, that's real stuff. Randy, you could look at that as a handout, a free pass for the year into a bunch of no-cut big dollar events, which would be a fair take, or you could look at that as playing good on big venues, big fields, big everything. It's a true eye of the beholder.
Listen, take what you want from it. I think golf is better when Rick's in contention. I do believe that.
Couldn't agree more.
He was 32nd off the tee this week, which pretty tough to win at Quail Hollow with being that far down the board on driving. Yeah. So the other parts of his game, I mean, Randy, we can shit on his putting down the stretch all we want. It wasn't good. He was T2, or he was 3rd in putting for the week.
I think that's it. But that's what it's always been with Rick. Yeah. I know what it says most of the time, but when it matters, that's what I'm curious about.
Speaking of some of the stats, we kind of breezed past the guy who won the golf tournament pretty quick here, and Reitan was 5th in driving and 2nd in putting, which I'm not a scientist, but that's gonna do pretty well at Quail Hollow, especially when you throw in 9th in strokes gained approach. So
he hit 70% of his greens.
It feels, Randy, like a little bit of when someone gets called up like late in the baseball season and they're not like a qualified starter, or they don't have like enough stats to really kind of like qualify for some of the postseason awards or something. I feel a little bit like that with Reitan, where I'm like, I'm not going to fall into the trap and be like, this guy's going to win 30 times. He's like, I don't know how to project anything, but I don't know how you couldn't like what you saw. I mean, it was just really good golf.
Yeah, I enjoyed the nugget. They were talking about on CBS. He had no idea where he was on the leaderboard until he was on 18 green.
That's insane to me.
Yeah, that's interesting. I enjoyed this nugget from his bio. I didn't realize he was the very first Norwegian to play in a U.S. Open back in 2018.
How about that?
And then later that summer got beat by Vic in the U.S. AM, and then Vic and everybody went on. But anyway, yeah.
Randy, one other tidbit for you. His billionaire family that owns grocery stores in Norway.
I wonder what
grocery store kingpin.
We are truly having a trap draw breaking out here.
I wonder what kind of what we would compare those grocery stores to here in the States. But yeah, Deej, I think Reitan, I don't know. Truly, it's like a guy. I feel a little like you. I don't have formed opinions on this guy at all. I'm doing it in real time, and so impressive win this week. We're kind of in wait and see mode. I'm curious what this guy's got as we keep going.
Reminds me a little bit. I mean, the natural comp, I feel like, especially looking at this year, is like Jacob Bridgman winning at Riviera. Where it's like, here's a guy who's got a lot of pedigree, a guy who a lot of people who know people say that is good. Like you hear a lot of whispers about a guy with like a kind of amateur resume like that, and it's a weird one where they don't like quite have enough of the it doesn't feel like a linear progression up the golf consciousness. You know what I mean? Where it's like checking boxes at all the right time. It kind of just bursts onto the stage and you don't really know what to do. It's kind of how I feel today.
He had 9 top 10s worldwide last year. Leading some to say get him on the team last year.
Sure.
Now I am curious, if
Didn't
we
need him though, unfortunately.
if we zoom out, and I don't think the PGA Tour stats for this year have taken into account this week yet, but serious ball speed imposter looking stat chart here for you, TC, where he's so far out in strokes gained off the tee, but he's 141st coming into this week and approaching the green, and 109th in putting. So everything clicked this week, but
yeah.
Deej, to your point, maybe feasting on some like AAA pitching in September vibe to me.
You know what he won last year, Randy?
We'll see.
He won Africa's major.
Well,
that's not
that's a continental Open championship.
Yeah. He also won the Sudal Open last year as well.
Sure.
Okay. Well, listen, we'll see.
Speaking of a guy that was
hold on. One prediction. I think we'll do that season opening podcast where like Solly quizzes us on who won what, and I think we'll all blank on who won Quail Hollow. That's my prediction.
Yeah, and I guess it's on one hand, I guess it's good to be aware of that in the moment. I hope that's not the case. I don't know. He seems like a great guy. I feel like I need more Norwegians in my life. I've never met a Norwegian I didn't like. I think the more of them we come across, I think the better.
Did you say he looks like Mr. Beast a little bit?
In his PGA Tour headshot, he looks like Mr. Beast a little bit. Yeah, but that's just neither here nor there. You can look that up on your own time.
Not much going on behind the eyes.
Oh, you got to pull. I don't know. Am I wrong about that? I think I can see that.
It's in the eyes.
If he really leaned in for the thumbnail. I mean, Amanda said that he was thinking about becoming a YouTube golfer. Maybe there's something to it. I don't know. Let us know in the comments what you think. Alex Fitzpatrick making his 13th start, nearly win at Zurich, T9 at Cadillac, win this week. I mean, it like truly insane stretch of golf. Big. What are you feeling watching Alex Fitzpatrick play golf?
Well, I think after the Zurich, I was like, why is this guy getting into PGA Tour events? And then Solly was telling me how good of a DP World Tour season he's having. I like the variability. He can bogey from just about anywhere. He hits some really good shots. I like watching him. Another guy, I'm kind of forming opinions in the moment. The last few weeks, I had a good time watching he and Matt win in Zurich, and credit to him. I was not expecting this good a play both last week at Doral and here at Quail Hollow. TC, I think my big question for you is, are we ever going to separate the Fitzpatrick brothers in the Fedora 5, or do they stay?
It's a great question.
Together.
I think we do a midweek Fedora 5 this week.
Okay.
Before
the numbers there's still precincts coming in. He's trying to get some of those Barcelona ballots in to see if our guy Prem Lal is going to get into the Fedora 5.
I think Alex Fitzpatrick, he's doing some interesting stuff, right? Almost winning at Quail Hollow, winning at Dr. Munjal's place over in India. Those don't seem like very similar golf courses to me.
For sure.
Which is impressive. It's T6 in Joburg, T9 and at DT's place. So he's doing it all, like literally all over the world.
It's also I get such a kick. I feel like a lot of people have said this, but I get such a kick out of just the seeming. I don't know either of them at all, but just the seeming difference between Alex and Matt. Right? I mean, Matt just feels unbelievably buttoned up by the book, crunching the numbers. Here's what it says that I need to do on this. He's marking everything down. Alex just feels like he's kind of flying by the seat of his pants, like true little brother vibes. And I'm just getting such a kick out of watching. Yeah, and I don't know if Matt was pumped full of truth serum, if he would say maybe some of that caught up with little brother today on, getting a little fast and loose.
I think I want little brother on the team more than big brother at this point, though.
Really?
Yeah,
it's an interesting one.
That's
Sophie's choice.
Yeah.
Huh.
We've seen a lot. I mean, Big Brother's gotten better on the Ryder Cup, but
yeah,
I like what I'm seeing. Or we have both of them. We put them together because they seem like they kind of balance each other out, right?
Or you have them play with the Hojgaards, like one
cross-pollinate them.
Yeah, you cross-pollinate them. Exactly.
What if I think TC's dream
is it a pennant square? Is that what it's called? Punnett square?
Is the dream Ryder Cup team TC 6 sets of brothers?
I mean, who else would be?
I don't know. We need some more. But I feel like, God, if we could ever get 6 sets of brothers, that's it.
I just don't know if we have enough brothers.
No, we don't have enough brothers yet. But we will try.
I need some nominees. Hit TC's email if you and your brother think you got a chance. He's going to start publicly lobbying for you. I heard about these 2 brothers in Spain, man. We gotta get them.
Did we learn anything this week? Like from Rory kind of bottled it on.
We learned so much. It's hard to even pin it down.
Weird week. Yeah, Rory had a bad Saturday.
Yeah. Yeah, what did Rory shoot? Like 75 yesterday?
74, I think.
70 something. 75 yesterday.
75,
he had put the left miss in play. Had some interesting quotes about that. I love this. TC, you got to put this in your back pocket for the future. He said the wind on the range was left to right. It was too hard left to right all week. So he's just hitting so many balls on the range that he was subconsciously starting to inch the ball against
it's like something that would happen to Neil.
Exactly. And so he said, once I figured that out, and once I made, it was the same adjustment he had to make at Augusta. Famously got the left miss going at Augusta this year as well. I mean, he came back and shot 67 today. So I don't think a ton to be gleaned. I think Aronimink, by all accounts, is going to set up really good for the guy who's maybe the best player in the world. So I don't know. I don't take too much away in the scared column for Rory this week. But anything else in your key learnings and insights, TC?
Not really. I think we learned that Quail Hollow, confirmed good tour venue.
Yeah,
it's not a major venue. It's a good tour venue, and the more that the Foz messes with this place, the worse it gets. The more devoid of strategy it gets.
Do you have any? Give me some examples.
I think everything they've done on that last stretch, 14, 15, 16, just doesn't there's just so many nips and tucks in there that I think the bunker placement in certain spots. We were talking about the bunker on 14 earlier.
14's so close. I feel like I have a really good time. Grass. I have a really good time watching 14, and I also understand why you guys are not digging it as much as me. Fitzpatrick and Reitan were just kind of you can kind of blow it right, and I was hoping that they would be punished by that back right pin and have basically a straight downhill chip. That doesn't really seem to be the case. If you can get into that bunker, I mean, Reitan knocked one up there super cozy from that greenside bunker, which probably was a good shot, but also not a big enough penalty. I'm kind of if you take that bunker out and you just make it some of these gnarly, tight Bermuda swale type of things, it could be chipping back towards the water. I think that could be kind of interesting, but
yeah,
it is fun. It's fun when guys take, I think as Solly says, you can't give them the answers to the test, which is just hitting the bunker. But when guys do take it on and they they play it quote unquote properly and they hit it in the water like Sung Jae or Rickie's almost in the like that. It gets very exciting when you have that, but when they just blow right, it's much less.
Yeah, like the guys actually taking it on get penalized, right?
Yeah.
Whereas the guys just hitting high spinners get like there's a few holes like that are just backwards to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think 15, 16 are similar in that regard too. But
I do like on the whole, we had our schedule podcast that went up this week where we're kind of talking about the importance of some of the, just like fan equity or institutional knowledge about some of these golf courses. Even if you don't love the golf courses, it's nice to have the familiarity and the relatability. And I feel that way with Quail Hollow. When you get to 13 T, the par 3, you're kind of like, all right, man, like it's kind of all gas on the way in. Like, I know what the test is. Like, can you get one on 14? Can you get one on 15? Can you stay alive on 16, 17? You can kind of go either way on 18. It's like, I mean, that's great for what the PGA Tour is. To your point, it's just like, it's a lot more fun when it's a PGA Tour event than when it's a major for some reason.
I thought there were some good pins today too. Like the pin on 14 or on 13 was good. The pin on 10 was really interesting. Like making guys hit the shots. But yeah, I think the Foz just continues to like rob Johnny Harris blind with a ski mask on out there, which kind of seems to be going around in Foz world these days.
More
what else
news
did
on
I
the
learn?
Foz later in the program.
I learned that I'm excited for Philadelphia this week.
Yeah.
A little bit more so than I thought I was before. We'll be up there Tuesday night. We've got our event at Liberty Point down on the river, and that's from 6 to 9 p.m. I would say get there early, maybe ride share. Ride share or cab it or whatever. I think parking might be an issue down in that part of town. Randy, I'm going to right your wrongs. I'm going to take back your story for you from a Philly cheesesteak perspective.
What's your plan? What's the current plan for the cheesesteaks?
I don't know. It's a good question. I think this guy's reached out. He says he's going to bring 5 different cheesesteaks from different places, like to me.
I like it.
But is that
do a blind tasting?
Can you transport them though? Are you going to lose the integrity if you're moving them all over the city?
He's going to have several people combined to get like 2.
Town's going to really come together.
Exactly. So anyway, more to come on that front.
Come through Liberty Point.
Yeah, but I think a lot of guys are I don't know. It's just I think it's going to be a really interesting major because I think it's truly anybody's game. I have no idea what to expect from Scotty. The Fitzpatrick bros are both playing well. I don't even think is Alex even in the PGA. I doubt.
Yeah, I think so
Okay.
because of Zurich. Yeah.
Okay. And then otherwise, just we've got the whole backdrop of the PGA of America just being a complete utter dumpster fire and circus. More to come on that later.
Can I ask you, how do you guys like the signature event the week before a major?
I see it both ways.
I do
feel like
too.
the momentum, like you want to get the momentum going. Randy, we did this whole schedule exercise this week on the podcast, and it's like there's no good answer. It's really hard.
I think where I left it upon reflection, I think what's hard is when you got to keep putting the bat signal out of just like, this is a signature event. This is a big event among the 45 events. This one really, really matters. I think what they're moving towards is if they go to bigger fields and they go to 120 players with cuts and it starts to look a little bit more like the PGA Tour events of our past, I think like it almost becomes squeezing the bat a little less tight. You know what I mean? Where it's like you go to 16 of those types of events instead of 8 of the like super special double secret, this one really matters events. And I think you just notice it a little less. And then it just becomes similar to,
this is the tour.
Memorial being before the US Open or, you know what I mean? Like kind of how it used to feel is I think once those events become normalized, it should stick out less, to where it almost like
rhythm
doesn't have that extra pressure on it to like really, really super extra deliver. Cause that's so hard to get in golf.
Well, cause I think judging this week on those terms, it was like, like what are we doing? Kind of the world's best. Cam made a run on Saturday. But it's like, it seems like just a bunch of guys trying to tune up and not peak until next week, which takes away from.
Shout out to Tommy, right?
That's right.
Well, you
Smart.
got Tommy, you got Ludwig in the top 10. I mean, what a day for guys that
The
just
Hammer, Patrick Cantlay.
just always bridesmaids. Yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting one.
We we talked a little Quail Hollow. Cody, can you put this graphic up? Because this was one of the things I learned this week. TC was how much pine straw is out there. This was going around Reddit, I think, reposted by a couple different. I haven't actually asked Max about this, but someone allegedly said that they were sitting on 18 and they made a little nest out of the pine straw so that they could keep their transfusion, so it didn't like tip over on the uneven ground.
Is a pro move.
That's a super pro move. The problem is Max Homa's drive apparently landed in that same spot, and he had a terrible lie for his second shot, which I think leads into a perfect chance to talk about the high noon transfusions, guys. High noon has become a staple around here. This is the first one. I've been saving it for a special occasion.
Wow, it's
first one
time.
I had tonight. They're so good. They're so good. I don't know what I was expecting, but
it's got a lot of ginger,
exceeding my expectations. It does have
in
a lot
really
of ginger.
good way.
It's great. High Noon has finally brought the #1 golf drink into their vodka seltzer lineup, the Transfusion. You can get it now, but not for long. They've only dropped a limited amount of these big. You better start hoovering them up there in Denver. Maybe create a little resale market out there. Irresistible grape taste, crafted with real vodka, real juice.
I think
sparkling.
that would be illegal, DJ.
That was a
not
joke.
encouraging.
For legal reasons, that was a joke. What was I saying? Irresistible grape taste, crafted with real vodka, real juice, sparkling water, and a hint of ginger and lime. I would say more than a hint. I'd say the right amount. It's a good amount of ginger. It's here for a short time, so grab it before it disappears or before Randy sets up a secondary market. If you're headed to the PGA Championship, come through the High Noon Clubhouse. Taste a couple with us on Thursday afternoon. High Noon, sun's up, guys.
We're here for a good time, not a long time.
Not a long time.
Exactly right.
My Uncle Jimmy used to say that.
A couple other notes, just closing the book on the Truist. Big Tone was testing just a very unconventional long putter grip. I don't know if this actually
does he know how to work a long putter.
I don't know. This was very weird. He ended up finishing T31, and he was, for those keeping track at home, 55th in putting this week. So I don't actually know if he employed Cody. You got this up. I don't know if he employed this grip or not, but it was interesting for sure.
Space inner dialogue is the reply on here. It says, "This man is in the depths of hell." Holy shit.
Like, this is what it looks like when my son grabs one of my golf clubs in the garage and is trying to hit the ball. It's like hand on just like a split. It's basically like a hockey, kind of a hockey play, but it's just very strange. So
he's a big guy. Can he not get a broomstick long enough?
Yeah, I don't know. And again, this was tweeted, so who knows if he employed this or if he's just dicking around in the putting green. But it was we wish him all the best on whatever he's going
I don't think
through.
he employed it. I think he went conventional.
I think
at least the first round.
Well, in this case, maybe he should have employed it. Randy, your guy Scotty Scheffler committed to the 3M. It just kind of a
Quail Hollow
type of move. Yeah, skip Quail Hollow. He's playing the 3M, which made me think, the first thing I came to my mind was like, is the tour even, listen, since COVID, I feel like a lot of people have said a lot of stuff, right? There's been a lot of rules and bylaws, and now we're doing this and maybe we're doing that. And I know the tour had for like a minute that whole, like, everybody's got to play every event over the course of 5 years. I have no idea if that's even still going on. But I don't really see a reason other than that. I don't really know why Scotty's playing the 3M, but
God, that's the week after the Open.
I don't get it.
Maybe he's gonna skip the Scottish. Maybe he's gonna skip the Open.
Maybe he's gonna skip the Open. He won it last year.
That'd be provocative.
Hates leaving the country.
Yeah,
maybe he just wants to grow the game, guys. Have you ever thought about that?
It's a good point.
There.
Been a lot of that going around. We talked about Rory a second ago, but TC, did you listen to his pre-tournament presser?
Yeah, he had a good joke in there about moving up to Philadelphia and living at the golf course for a week. And
That was good.
It was a good blast at the people who were unhappy about how much he played Augusta National. No, it sounds like he's in a good place and as motivated as ever to just win majors. Like, I don't think he's setting out to win 8 PGA Tour events this year. I think everything is around the majors. So,
yeah, and it feels like I don't know. I read it. Just there was. You should go back and watch it. Go back and read the transcript, whatever. But it was a lot of like almost. It feels weird for somebody who's won this many majors to feel this way, but like almost like seeing the ball go through the hoop on like, oh man, what if I just go out and win 10? What if I go out and win 11? Like, what if I just go keep doing it? It doesn't feel like the same. This is almost like the he's freed up Rory that I feel like we've been kind of waiting to see, and I can't wait to see what happens next. TC threw this Mark Lie tweet in there. I don't know if you wanted to roll through this.
I did. I'll quote this. Brooks playing at Myrtle Beach, BCH, shortened, instead of Quail Hollow is an insult of the highest magnitude. ... PGA Tour is a ruthless POS organization. ... Enough said. Just bottom lining it.
100%.
Mark Lie, letting it fly.
Letting it fly. I think Brooks finished T11 at Myrtle Beach. I love, by the way, first of all, Brooks' attitude. I feel like Brooks he's won the comeback tour. I feel like he's been eating the humble pie. He's been happy to tee it up wherever he can. He's waiting when he's an alternate. He's sitting by the clubhouse waiting to get in. I feel like he's just been, I don't know, he's kind of been like what you want him to be, coming back and just showing up where he needs to show up in order to climb back into these signature events. And I liked him playing the Zurich for that reason. I liked him playing at Myrtle Beach for that reason. He knows that, like, man, you go get a win and it's kind of, you get the golden ticket back to the circuit. And I think he's doing that, which I appreciate.
I want to see that same thing from the other LIV guys that do want to come back. Make them go play Korn Ferry Tour. I want to see guys hanging out in Wichita with a smile on their face.
Whiffs of pee going and beating up the DP World Tour.
The game, honestly,
100% big.
I mean, Brooks was talking very earnestly about, like, this is the most fun he's had playing golf in a very long time, and like that's cool.
I mean,
like a Brooks that's motivated and happy and in a good place, both mentally and with his game. Like we always talk about, like, that's really good for the majors and the bigger events on tour.
100%. Rory had some, I mean, I'm paraphrasing and I hope I don't get it wrong, but he essentially was saying about some of the guys, and we'll get to the LIV stuff later because more happened this week, but about some of the guys who were just like, I'm not going, why would I want to go back there? Rory, I think, essentially said, like, I think that says it all about those guys. Like, it's become pretty clear that, like, the people who want to play real golf want to come back to the PGA Tour, and anybody who doesn't, essentially, like, you can draw your own conclusions from them and their career aspirations, which I thought was a pretty tactical strike.
Lahiri, right? I don't think we're gonna specifically mention Lahiri, but honor.
Blandy said that he wants to be a clique for life. Like, he can't imagine playing. I mean, I think Blandy was earnest in that. Like, Blandy's made almost $20 million since he turned 50.
There are some people that I think get a lifetime pass. Like, you could say whatever you want about LIV because you got so much money when you should not have gotten it. And I think that extends to some of the players. I think that extends to some of the media folks. I think there's some people that I'm like, man, I get it. I get why you're in the bag.
G-Mac finally said it out loud this week.
He did. G-Mac said, I think I regretted some of the things I said about growing the game. I think I should have just said it was about money. I think that's
say what you want about Dustin Johnson.
Yeah.
Like, DJ never said it was about anything except for, like, the money.
Yeah. Harold Varner.
Was Peters the guy who said he was ready to retire when the news broke?
Yeah, which is so, like, did you watch that? I think that was a Dan Rappaport podcast appearance. Did you watch that? I mean, it looked like he was.
I didn't.
He looked like
avoid that one.
He looked like he was just, like, in the middle of a park somewhere calling in. I was like, this looks like Randy. This is good. He's probably getting ready to go play frisbee or hacky sack or read a novel or something. It was a good vibe he was putting off. Which, again, I'm not saying everybody needs to be cutthroat.
I know.
Maybe it's not for everybody. That's fine.
Yeah. I know it's hard, honestly hard to sit here and judge them too harshly. Like, if you got all the money, well, yeah, what do you go enjoy it?
I do want to read this, TC, just in case we forget to come back to it. But this was Blandy.
This is its rules.
This is one of Blandy's quotes, kind of in part, and this is in reference to the idea that LIV might go away. What are you going to do? What's going to happen now that the PIF is pulling out their funding? He said, quote, "I would love to stay on board with the cliques in some form. I'll come to some events as a spectator and just do the things that I want to do, live my life with my wife, go play where I want to play. As much as I'm out here grinding, and I still love that, and I want to do well, but I know it's not too far in the distance now." That straight up sounded like you could have convinced me that was one of TC's quotes. It's like, I think whatever happens, I do want to stay involved with the cliques in some way, shape, or form. I mean,
this is the same guy that got blackballed from multiple senior majors over the last couple of years.
They don't want him. He keeps saying they don't want him. They won't.
So, like, he wants to play, he wants to compete, he wants to grind, and they won't even let him.
Yeah. It's fucked up, TC.
TC, why do the captains have to be playing captains on LIV? Like, I was
he's not even a captain.
God, even more reason. Yeah, let's get him in a management position for the cliques.
Yeah, I mean, we took that tour of Anfield, TC, over in Liverpool. They're not, those managers aren't out there playing. They're great men inspiring other great men. You know,
why can't the guy's name?
Bill Shankly.
Bill Shankly.
Yeah, he made the people happy. Yeah.
He made the people feel good.
He made the people feel good. That's what it was. Yeah. All right.
And like Blandy will never walk alone. Right?
Possibly.
Once a clique, always a clique.
All right. We got to talk Harry Hall. I feel like I was so early on this. Neil has come along and said, you know what? I think I'm actually a Harry Hall guy. He put out this Instagram video after watching some Netflix movie that I haven't watched yet, talking about how he was going to chase down the leaders. I'm sure a lot of people are going to know what this is. If not, go to Harry Hall's Instagram at Harry Hall. This is what I'm about, guys. This is what I'm about. I love the way he plays. He rolls the potato, he fills it up. He wears the hat with the bad sponsorships. I couldn't be more in, and I feel like my stock is soaring right now. And I'm just curious if any of you guys are joining me. There's a limited share offering this week.
I'm on the squad. He kind of bottled it down the stretch today. He cost himself a bunch of money.
Who cares? That's fine.
But yeah, I'm in on Harry Hall and I'm in on Dan Brown.
What am I watching?
Some of these English blokes have taken Instagram by storm.
Yes, I'm sorry, I was cutting you over. Dan Brown has been amazing on Instagram as well. It's just there's a beautiful thing happening with English golf on Instagram right now, Randy.
Randy, will you partake?
No, I'll say this in all honesty. I'm glad they're having success on Instagram because I just continue to beat the drum. The English, what do they do? What do they do in the world of golf?
The Fitzpatricks are fucking people up pretty good.
I guess, yeah. Fitzpatrick.
Team Rose?
Team Rose?
I was like, when's the last time the English have done something? I think one of you guys said Justin Rose won the U.S. Open in 2013. Like,
and J.H. Taylor won a bunch of Opens too.
Yeah, and I guess Patrick did win one, but just, I don't know, unserious sporting nation.
Justin Rose 42nd in strokes gained approach this week. Not good. We don't like that.
Nice clubs, bud.
We need to get, we need to do better in qualifying next week.
He was playing the softs this week.
Phil WD'd from the PGA, still kind of citing his ongoing family issues, which means Max Homa gets into the PGA. So, one man's trash, another man's treasure.
I'll tell you, when that crossed my desk, a true life Alonzo Mourning gif. Like, I know it's an overused gif, but that was my reaction.
Yeah. And finally, I think maybe last note from kind of the world of the PGA Tour, or at least the Truist. This was a good one. I think this was from the signature scroll.
Didn't age all that well. but it was
Oh,
good at the
au
time.
contraire, TC. Parting shots. I believe this was either written by Paul or Sean Martin. For those with front row seats to the Jordan Spieth experience, this week could be an especially fun one. Matt Gannon tweeted that Spieth is experimenting with a longer driver this week. Titleist reps on the ground confirmed the move. New driver's 46 inches and an inch longer than his gamer, has 9 degrees aloft, 1 degree lower than his usual club. The longer club goes about 10 to 15 yards longer than his usual Titleist driver. Spieth was hitting balls in sneakers on Wednesday, choosing the trainers because of their larger toe box, which alleviated some pain in his foot.
Sounds like things are going great.
Jordan
Close.
Spieth this week, strokes gained off the tee, second only to Rory McIlroy.
Yeah,
in
He
that
was
category.
65th in approach.
Is he back?
No,
he back?
he's not back because he did everything else exceedingly bad. But the
71,
driver's back.
71, 68, 75 this week.
The haters and losers were saying that the driver was gonna, that's what's gonna keep him from ever even competing for the Grand Slam at a PGA. Looks like we've rocked them, guys.
He tied with Brian Campbell, Chandler Blanchet.
That's only on the
Mackenzie
leaderboard.
Hughes,
Only on the
Max
leaderboard, not on the strokes gained driving.
It's 4 rounds, but if that driver stuff is real, he gets a lot more interesting. He does.
What if he becomes the best driver in the world? That would be crazy.
Yeah, but at what cost?
I don't know. It doesn't seem zero sum. Plus, I
that's
don't know
what I
what's
mean.
up. We got to talk about this toe box. What's going on with the shoes? It's just a
He
lot.
might have chose to save it. He's like, holy shit! I don't use it this week.
What if he's
let's
driving
save
it
this
too
for
far?
Ronimink.
Yeah, what if he's driving it too far? He just threw everything off.
He's like, I better throw
sequencing's
people
all
off
up.
the scent with my other play.
Yeah. Elsewhere on the PGA Tour, 45-year-old Brandt Snedeker is your winner at Myrtle Beach. His 10th PGA Tour victory, his first one since the 2018 Wyndham Championship. TC, do we get him on the team? Playing captain.
Playing
Feels like the
captain.
biggest
I think we got to
no-brainer
at least
ever
talk about it.
for the
Get
President's
him
Cup
on the
this year.
team, get P on the team. The
Keegan?
tour. Yeah, Keegan. Give
Any
him a
brothers?
captain's pick.
Any brothers out there that would make sense?
Maybe
Foodie
make
brothers,
Webb
get him
Simpson.
on
Moody
a-
brothers.
Maybe make Webb Simpson a playing assistant captain.
Yeah, Webb Simpson was in the field at Truist this week. That was not great.
The tour kind of did Snedeker dirty with their photo editing on their champions photo there on the gram. Same with Reitan. I don't know if they're just trying to overexpose these things.
Yeah, they got
really
the
amp up the contrast.
saturation, the contrast are really they're
reminded me
dangerous
Of when
limit.
Club Pro guy tweeted about
Truly one of the best tweets in the history of Twitter.
what was it when it was? Yeah, I mean that just
There's
just
a-
dirty.
Yeah, there's just a lot of texture going on there.
Yeah, Club Pro guy said, "Love how the fellas visit Jim Furyk while on hospice care. The tour is such a tight group. #family. #PGA."
That's a
years ago.
That's a deep cut. Yeah, I don't have a whole hell of a lot else other than a lot of these opposite field events. I feel like are kind of for, I think about like Mark Hubbard, not one on the PGA Tour. A lot of these guys that have to be have been grinding for so long, are so tantalizingly close to winning, and then 45-year-old semi-retired Sneds Cubs, it just takes it from you. Is that's tough, man. That's tough.
Hubbard kind of bottled it.
Yeah, it's
Bogeyed 2 out of the last 3.
That's listen, the ball doesn't lie. I mean, the guy went out and won, but it's
It's just kind of
a
like
fun one.
low key a pretty good tournament. I watched too much of it, I would say. In the Dunes Golf and Beach Club, I believe this was built mega peak of Robert Trent Jones Sr.'s career. It kind of works.
Sure. I'm
I'd
gonna
like
have
to
to take
see
your
him-
word on it. I haven't
I'd
watched
like-
a lot of this one.
I'd like to see him play that tribute course in Myrtle Beach
Yeah, I agree.
that we visited. I think that'd make for a more interesting
Tom Kim,
championship.
T6.
Can you imagine if they played? Yeah, we might need to take this one to the trap draw. But some of these opposite field events, if you do want to get me to watch, you might need to play them on some replica golf courses. Can you imagine? They're like, oh no, now they're going. What was it? What was it? The old course?
It was like 1-9. Yeah, 1-9 was
or
British
first off the
Isles.
old course.
1-9 was America.
It was 100.
They should go play on the Ross course up at Boyne, Randy.
I know that would be a good one too.
Golden Ocala has
That'd be a
Amen
good one.
Corner down there.
Yeah.
Any
couple of-
concern? Luke Clanton finished tied for 60th in this event.
No concerns. No concerns.
Appreciate you asking though.
Carry on.
He's very young.
We had
22.
the ghost of Tom Kim finished T6. Congratulations to Solly on that one. Blades Brown T9 TC quietly.
Yeah,
he just keeps
in the 60s.
He just keeps doing it. Brooks T11 as I mentioned. Lonto, sure. I think that's going to close out probably Myrtle Beach corner unless you've got anything else. Where did Ruffles finish? T45. There you go.
Yeah, made
shout
the cut.
out to Ryan Ruffles for getting a spot through the queue. And
Streber got a start.
Cashing a check.
But got to start.
How about Billy Horschel getting an exemption into the PGA Championship? Oh, it's kind of out of
really?
left field. Yeah.
I miss that. I love Billy, and normally I'm like, any event he's in is a positive, but come on, man. Even Dustin Johnson getting an exemption, I'm like,
a little weird.
Yeah, that's. I mean, they're not even like they haven't won it.
Randy, take us to Mountain Ridge for the
Mizuho, what's going on?
And then we got all sorts of just crazy shit on the back end of this app.
What's going on the LPGA, Big?
Actually, great venue this week at Mountain Ridge Country Club.
Good setup too
in New Jersey. Good setup. Difficult golf course, especially Thursday, Friday. Some rain moved in starting Saturday. What was that? Kind of mid-afternoon, and it was a little softer. But Jeeno Thitkul wins by 4. Guys, I think this is like an important win for Jeeno. I think any win is important right now. She had not, by her standards, been having the best of seasons. But to win on a proper setup, she was 13 under par. Ronnie Yin was runner-up at 9 under par. Like, TC, I think this is, I don't think we fly the mission accomplished banner, but certainly good to see from Jeeno.
But on the flip side, if she lays an egg at Riviera or at Hazeltine,
sure,
we got big problems, Randy. I don't think I think we're nearing the point or at the point where like nothing matters for her unless she does stuff in majors. I
hate to always relate it to the men's game, but as you're saying that, I'm trying to think of TC, like who's the comp for what you're seeing right now? Because I want to I'm drawn to like a Xander Cantlay, like probably Xander, right?
Like early Xander before he
like broke through with all the majors.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the thing is
she's got some good finishes in them. Like she's got plenty of top 5s. It's just a matter of getting it over the line. She's just
too good not to have won one and to not win one soon. Continues to be the issue.
And she doesn't play well in the U.S. Women's Open.
Yeah,
like she's missed 2 of 4 cuts in that, and she doesn't play well in the Women's British.
So it's like the best, most difficult test she's not performing the best on, but she wins a ton when the winning score is like 20 under or lower. Yeah. This was her 9th. Yeah, this was her 9th LPGA win. Still very young. 2nd this season. Honestly, it's like a dream start, I think, for the LPGA. You have Nelly's won 3 times with a quote major. This is Jeeno's 2nd win.
Don't see that.
Hyoju Kim has won twice. But you compare it to last year where we didn't have anybody win a 2nd time to like late in the season. It's just as we do go to Riv TC, I think there's at least there are storylines out there, which is good.
Randy, where does 9 wins and no major? Is there like precedent for that?
So that's I went looking today because that was the question, Deej, on my mind. And this is kind of incredible. Let me just start. There's no present day comparable to Jeeno. But if you go back further, there's Jane Blaylock, no relation, I don't think, to Mookie or Mister. She won 27 times on the LPGA in her career, never won a major,
that's sick.
Which is the most. Judy Rankin won 26 times in her career without a major. The closest I could find, there's a woman, Rosie Jones, whose career ended early 2000s. She won 13 times, never won a major. But Jeeno, since Rosie Jones' career has ended, Jeeno's 9 wins are the most on the LPGA without a major. So
I'll tell you who her career is right now on the PGA Tour. Patrick Cantlay, 8 wins on the PGA Tour.
Cody just sent through too. Imi Azato, nine LPGA wins with no majors. World #1. That's a really good.
That's
comp.
an interesting
Gosh, she was
one.
a force.
I think TC. Remember when we used to like make a calendar reminder to bet Sergio to win the Masters?
Really,
I think it was, or I think I'm just gonna start taking Jeeno in every major until she gets one. I'm just gonna
dollar cost averaging.
Yeah, like I think it's a losing.
And I get that she's
money
young.
strategy,
Like this is her 5th or 6th year.
Not financial advice.
Yeah, this is not financial advice. I just don't want to miss it. Yeah, Riv is going to be such a big test.
I'm fascinated to see how they set it up because you can't really run the ball in there. Like you got to land it on the green. It's not going to bounce on because of the Kikuya. But then the greens are going to be crazy firm. Like it's a fascinating setup decisions for Bodenhammer and company.
Yeah. If I may, I polled, but besides Jeeno was the story of the week. Honestly, never really in doubt today. And that's a good thing because there really wasn't much coverage of the golf today. I'm going to get to that in just a second. But I wanted to pull out 3 other names, just highlight kind of non-Nelly, non-Jeeno. I think players that are having pretty good seasons and maybe just people to keep an eye on here as we get into the teeth of major season on the LPGA. Ronnie Yin, who I mentioned, finished runner-up, 9 under par. She's played some really good golf here over the last several months. This is her 2nd consecutive runner-up. She finished T2 at the Chevron and her 3rd top 10 in her last 4 starts. I only note that she had 3 top 10s all of 2025. This is a former major champion, really, really good player. Her putting, she struggles with the putter, and you saw some of that this week too, but her ball striking is very, very good. So wanted to shout out Ronning. Gabby Lopez, TC, your girl.
It's Lopez.
She's having a really nice 2026, and she finished 2025 really strong. She finished tied for 3rd today at 8 under par. I have here, she finished 2025. She was top 5 at the Annika. She was top 5 at the CME. And now you roll over to 2026. She has not missed a cut and has 2 top 5s on this season. So just a nice little run of play here from Gabby over, honestly, like over the last 6-7 months. And then the American name, I think, I've bemoaned, like, where are the good young American players? She
English
hasn't, like,
men, American women.
Yes.
Right.
Jenny Bay, I think, is just somebody to keep an eye on. She has not broken through yet. She's 24 years old. She shot 69-66 this weekend to finish tied for 3rd. She was a rookie last year, had a pretty good year, made the CME Tour Championship. She finished tied for 10th at the Tour Championship and has made 6 of 8 cuts this year. I think she's got a look to make the Solheim Cup team in the Netherlands. So I just want to start kind of putting Jenny Bay on the radar. She had a really nice week this week too.
I love it.
Proud
Did you
of her.
mention? Did you mention Allison Lee too? Going from the booth to.
No, she had a great. Yeah, this was
Finished
only her 3rd
T3.
start. She was part of the group at tied for 3rd, 8 under par. Yeah, fabulous result for Allison. She was calling golf recently. Who else was part of it? Heejin Choi was part of the group at T3. So, guys, the only other thing I wanted to talk about was I thought the coverage was very off all week. And I know I always beat that drum with the LPGA, but Thursday...
Even more off than usual.
Yeah, and I think it gets exact... It all gets magnified on weeks like this where they are at a really good golf course and it's set up well and the conditions are tough. Like Thursday morning, I was pumped to watch. We were late getting to the scheduled LPGA coverage because we had to. They stuck with like Aaron Rye's group in Myrtle Beach until they hold out. So it was like 20 minutes late getting to the LPGA window. I didn't understand that. Friday afternoon, you had Jeeno Thitkul, world #2, teeing off in the afternoon. Coverage essentially ended. There's nowhere to stream even Geno's round on a really good golf course. And then today was one of their CBS network days. And I believe the window was 1 to 3 p.m. Eastern time When they came on at 1 p.m., Jeeno in the final group was playing the 13th hole. Beth Ann tweeted about it. Like, I just like, it's just a wait. Like, I don't know.
Do they get credit for
right? Do they get money back? Do they get future network time?
Get a gift card.
They give them another 45 minutes.
It just is like
future week.
Pro shop credit.
Yeah, they didn't come close to using up the 2-hour window. Like you watch literally 5.5 holes at a very good golf course, like an old Donald Ross. It just
finally added some drones. Like Thursday seemed like the most bare bones coverage that you could possibly get. Like all the stuff that they promised us with the FM Global,
it's
not enhanced broadcast that we saw a little bit of on the West Coast. Like it just totally evaporated. At least
we've lost the momentum. TC, we've lost it. So I just thought that was a shame. Again, it's just another data point. Like it's hard to be a fan of the LPGA more times than not. Like it just they put the onus on the viewer, and it's like it shouldn't be that way. So next week ahead, real quick, they go to Cincinnati and they're playing at Makatiwa Country Club. I note that because it's the first time they'll have played at Makatiwa. My brother-in-law and sister are members there. I'm going to be in Cincinnati. My niece is graduating from high school. What's that?
Are you going to the tournament?
I'm going to try to stop by maybe for a few hours, maybe Friday or Saturday.
Was saying it's crispy out there. It's been firm and the greens are firing right now.
Can you I've heard you talk about Makatiwa 150 times and I don't know anything about it. What are we in for?
It's a Donald Ross. It's a landlocked piece of property in kind of a dense area of the city. Like it's not downtown, but kind of just out from downtown. They have undergone a good bit of renovation over the last several years. It's now the home of Xavier University. Shout out our good buddy THG. The course that Jason Kokrak built. It's just a good. They've always had U.S. Open locals at Makatiwa.
Kokrak grow the game still? How's he? How's he doing?
It's. I think it should be a good. It should be a good venue for the LPGA. They have plenty of distance. It sounds like it's going to be in good condition. Like I'm looking forward to watching how they do there.
Yeah, and it's not like you have to fight traffic to get there. It's kind of near where people live.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
DJ, I think Kokrak is growing the game in Oklahoma.
Oh, that's right. They rebranded.
Smash rebranded.
Tough time for that rebrand as he rebranded that the league kind of loses all its funding. It's I don't know how many T-shirts and
Smash should sign Trey Young.
Scarves they printed, but yeah. Randy, thank you for that. Looking forward to watching Makatiwa next week.
You'll probably be watching the PGA, as everybody will be, but
yeah, well, maybe the highlights.
Should be fun.
Maybe highlights. Guys, spring is kicked into full gear, and Roback has you covered on that front. They keep coming out with new products. They're coming out with too many good products. They keep coming out with new products.
The Highlands hoodie on.
The Highlands hoodie's great. Closets can't get enough. They can't keep up. Let me tell you about a couple things. Favorite new shorts. Oh, do you have these? The lightweight looper shorts?
I do.
TC, these are like ready made for you in Florida.
They got a shorter seam on them.
Shorter seam. Comfort of a gym short. The comfort of a gym short, but the appearance of a golf short. It's big. This is kind of made for you too. You know, you like wearing the basketball shorts, but you have to
it's like
cave.
When Big used to show up to the audit.
Exactly. This would be great to wear to the wear in a corporate setting, Big, where you have to put off the appearances, but you need that comfort of an athletic short.
The inseam lengths. I just got to pay attention to the inseam lengths.
Sure, you got to watch it. Well, I think short inseam's in for you. Especially you're a quad father like you. Stretch waistband with belt loops. They're truly lightweight. They're made for hot summer days on the golf course. They've got a real button and a fly, so it's not like you're out there with an elastic gym short waistband. If you need to take a break in the bushes, that's no problem. They come in 5 colors. Can't get enough of those. Second, the Roback just dropped boxers. Didn't
Really?
felt like we had to share that with the people. Made of the same fabric as their performance polos, which are extra comfy, so you're gonna get taken care of there. Great for a day on the golf course, on a hot day, bringing the everyday comfort there. And finally, the Tailwind sport shirt. If you're looking to impress, a significant other in your life, perhaps check out the Tailwind sport shirt. Soft yet lightweight, unbelievably comfortable, perfect casual button down to throw on for the post round, maybe a meal in the clubhouse, maybe even a date night big. Head to roback.com, RHOBACK.com, and use code NLU for 20% off your first order through the end of this week. The ad reads over, but I'm going to shout out the wool polos, or kind of like the knit polos. No, the polos that are almost like the sweater polos. You know what I'm talking about? Those are so
the short sleeve sweater
polo.
polo.
Those to Scotland in a couple of weeks. I can't wait to get deep into those. Shout out to Roback. Thank you for the support there. TC, we got to talk about this. What's going on in the DP World? Amazing things are happening on the DP World Tour. We mentioned this at the top. Juraj Premlal goes 63, a young 22-year-old South African lad, 63 to win by 14 shots on the DP World Tour. This is at Real Club de Golf El Prat in Barcelona, Spain. Technically, the all-time DP World Tour record for margin of victory is Tiger's 15-shot win at Pebble Beach. It's the way their records work. This is the second at 14 shots. Like I mentioned, he's 22 years old. He's ranked number 598 in the world. True, just any given weekend, someone's going to beat the shit out of you in the game of golf. Hasn't had a top 30 this season. He's missed the cut in 4 of his 8 starts that he's teed it up at, and he goes out and he beats the field by 14. This way, beats the second place by 14. Who knows what he beat the field by? I mean, it's just an unbelievable story.
I think he lost a bunch of strokes to the field his previous one. Like, I think the gap between how many he lost to the field last week and how many he gained on the field this week was 40 shots.
It's just truly striking stuff. Listen, I didn't watch a ton of this event. I don't have a ton more other than kind of what was reported in the write-ups, but massive. I don't think I can give a bigger shout out to Juraj Premlal. Just an unbelievable result.
Yeah, he shot 63. He shot 64, 63, 63 the last 3 rounds,
which is just gonna get it done.
I think the Southern Guards need to give him a call
for sure.
Doing the Rhino job.
I feel like dead serious. I feel like the PGA of America needs to give him a last minute invite next week. Like, if you win on the DP World Tour by 14 shots, you have
You're the
to
hottest
play
player
the
in the
major
world
next
right
week.
now.
Yes.
Like, we'll see where he lands.
Yeah.
He's definitely going to be in the Fedora 5.
For
He
sure.
may be a supernova, just a quick. Because his hat's going to explode, but he's in there for 1 week.
Rory drops out for a week, and Premlal drops in, takes his spot. It's kind of like that Aon situation with with Reitan.
Exactly.
Randy, we kind of breezed past it, but did you want to share your death panel idea for Quail? You're just because I'm kind of marrying that together with, it feels like there does need to maybe just be like a higher order of golf who can make some of these executive decisions.
Yeah, I was looking through the Slack and I saw at 5:08 p.m. I sent the note to the boys. I'm like, God damn, this has turned into a real mule drive here at Quail Hollow. I said it might be time for an unexpected pop in by the death panel. Similar to like the food inspectors in the big cities. You just drop in. You don't tell anybody you're coming, and you see what's going on. Like, TC, I think we could have thrown a lot of people out of professional golf this afternoon at Quail Hollow.
We could have. I think we also could have simulated the last 4 or 5 holes.
That's got to cut both ways, is what I'm saying. Is like that same body should be able to get Premlal into the PGA.
Yeah, so exactly, and some guys are not going to be able to tee it up now next week, and it opens up spots for Premlal and God knows who else.
Foxy, Big Shot Bob, bad
Yeah.
moves from them.
Foxy almost finished dead last this week.
But I mean, truly,
He's been stinky, TC. We don't need to
I
give
hate
that
it.
too much time, but he finished 67th. Jason Day finished 68th. Sahith 69th.
These are guys we like.
For sure. Hideki's 71st. Hideki's the weirdest golfer on the planet. Just
the
like
PGA Tour social account lit his ass up today.
Hideki?
Like a little like when it was like when you forget to wish mom a happy Mother's Day. It was like him writing something down. Like they did him dirty. And this is after they forgot to wish everybody a happy Mother's Day.
I forgot to wish everybody a happy Mother's Day on the
Really?
top of this show. Well, at the top
You
of the
should
show.
have listened to Scott O'Neill.
I don't know if that's part of your notebook, but I think we're at that section.
All right.
TC, it's time for your notebook. You take us wherever you deem. worthy.
We're just gonna go for it. We got all sorts of developments with National Links Trust. It feels like kind of the best outcome of a shit sandwich, I would say. Judge ruled earlier in the week that they were, to halt major construction, and then they reached an agreement that, like this broke last night, that basically National Links Trust gets to keep operating all three courses in the meantime, but it leaves it very vague as far as East Potomac is concerned.
Well, it sounds like National Park Service is taking over the restoration or renovation of.
Yeah,
I don't think restoration. I think renovation.
So shout out to the
of,
Foz and whatever he does with the William Flynn design.
Yeah, so it's just it's a weird one that it feels like the National Links Trust guys have to take it as kind of a victory that there's going to be still a lot of support and involvement there, and but there's kind of a lot of onus. Garrett from Friday had a good write up on Twitter just about basically like there's a lot of people that need to hold to account a lot of these people who are saying that this is going to continue to uphold the mission, which is to keep things accessible and affordable, because those two things could go away very, very quickly. Under the
even
guise
just
of kind
going
of a
from
weird
36
agreement.
holes to 18 holes and ramping up the, I don't know. Like, I guess the hope is that they just basically go to a four corners offense on this thing at East Potomac and stretch it out for the next 2.5, 3 years. So we'll see what happens.
So your guy Stephen A. Smith gets it off as.
Yeah, exactly. Randy, I didn't know that this was. I sometimes I just forget that the TGL, the name is Tomorrow's Golf League, and so the women's TGL is the Women's Tomorrow's Golf League.
The League of the Future.
I'm glad this has hit the agenda. Let me say very plainly and very vociferously, I could give a shit about women's sim golf just like I could give a shit about men's sim golf. I could not care less about either thing. I think this is the dumbest thing possible, and I will not be partaking.
I wonder, I have to guess. There's just no logical human explanation for why you wouldn't roll the women into the already fledgling men's
so stupid
league, other than and I think like the TGL Arena hosting like the professional wrestling event this week probably backs this up. I think they just kind of need inventory for those. I think they need room nights, TC.
Who's going to broadcast the inventory?
Yeah, well, that I don't know. But it just seems like they need to get people in that stadium, and maybe that's the impetus. But it's tough. It's tough.
Like Lexi's going to be a part of it. Albane, Valenzuela. Like, what do we do? Like, is this the best we can do? Sometimes I just wonder. Like, these are the idea. This is the best we can do.
Well, guys, speaking of the best we can do, this week was the 15th anniversary of the passing of the great man Seve.
Yeah.
There were a lot of great tributes out there. Team Rose, at Justin Rose 99, said an honor to honor Seve alongside Roars today. And
where does the 90? I don't actually know where the 99 comes from. If that's his race car number.
Did he turn pro in 99 or something?
I think
maybe. Like Carnoustie 99?
I don't remember.
I don't know. Whatever. Anyway.
Can I say something about Seve? When we were at, first of all, we played Lytham last week.
Oh,
Royal Lytham.
the
Sorry,
best.
Randy. When we
and
were
St. Anne's.
and St. Anne's. Shout out to St. Anne's.
I don't need John Hopkins coming after me.
Of course. First of all, just I feel like so many of the open rota courses as a young boy in Illinois and now Wisconsin, watching on my TV in the morning, like so many of those English golf courses have gotten flattened on TV into kind of like an amalgamation of the same course. And oh my God, Lytham is like the greatest test. Like if you want to find out who the best player in the world is, you have to make them go play that golf course. But the great man Seve winning there twice. I think the photo of him with the green pants, just leaning on it, hair blowing in the wind. I'm like, that was already my favorite photo in the history of golf, and seeing it in that clubhouse, I got chills.
Solly was seething.
Solly's so pissed.
TC had the open Seve jumper on. It was good stuff.
They honor Seve all over the place. They honor Peter Thompson, a few other guys. No mention at all of Gary Player.
It's true.
Which is
There's
great.
a small photo outside the locker room, I believe. But
I don't think Seve's hitting that iconic shot on level ground, but my golf swing on level ground, my lower body kind of looks like that.
Exactly.
It's a little disorienting.
You should go no hat, Randy, and have
Yes.
your hair.
Yeah.
We can get some green pants tailored up for you.
dye your hair jet black. You look like
I might do that. I might do that.
That'd be good.
Guys, I just threw this in here because I think it's maybe a sign of things to come on the golf front. There was a big story on ESPN, among other places this week, that the top tennis players are thinking about organizing a boycott of the Grand Slams if they don't get their fair share of the revenue. Like French Open, I think they're getting right around 10%.
I think 15.
Okay.
15. Yeah.
And I just think this is going to be an increasingly hot topic in golf over the next year, 2 years, 3 years, and whether that's through the PGA Tour or players themselves just boycotting. I would imagine that there's some friction there moving forward. So.
Just to summarize, basically the point is these Grand Slams, the majors in golf, are just making so much money and so little of it is finding its way into the purse. And instead,
I believe that like the French Open number is the players' prize fund is 15% of total tournament revenue.
Yeah,
is what's making it to the players.
And it's not just the majors or the Ryder Cup as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably deserves some more thought, but my initial thought is like it's going to be chef's kiss perfect. Once LIV goes away, like let's get ready for another labor dispute between golfers and that's not even a judgment on like whether it's valid or not. Like I absolutely think there is some merit. I just haven't thought about it too long. But people don't care about golfers needing to make more money.
Randy, in somewhat related news, the Aussie Open agreed to take the event to North Adelaide, to a course that doesn't necessarily even exist yet. Greg Norman is redoing this municipal course in North Adelaide. The first men's Australian Open would be staged in 2028 there, and I believe they're going to have, basically have it there every other year, and then alternate with the Australian Women's Open as well. There, we're just getting some good momentum going on sandbelt courses, and guys are coming down. I know there's appearance fees involved in all of that, and it's a paltry purse. But man, it just feels like, one step forward, 5 steps back for Aussie golf at every single turn. And James Sutherland and some of the others running the show down there seem like they're just dimwits.
This feels like a little bit of a PGA Frisco situation.
Yes.
Would that be analogous?
Yeah, or even PGA National back in the day. They had a PGA Championship there back in the 70s. So, it seems like that government, that state government in South Australia basically said, "Oh, we have this money that's probably not going to that we're probably not going to be using for LIV here, and we will. And like I think the people in Adelaide will turn out, right? It'll be a good vibe and everything. I just don't know if the golf course is going to be any good, and I don't think that the Australian Open should just be played on the Melbourne Sandbelt. That's not what I'm saying at all. I just think, hey, it seems a little premature, and it seems like just buying an Australian Open for wherever.
Seems like the Aussies hate Golf Australia. Like
yes.
yeah.
Truly. Yeah. Yeah. I guess this guy, has done damage to other sports before moving to Golf Australia as well. So
perfect.
Deej, there was a shoe pack, the Mule Whisperer. Got some non-mules on the record.
Yeah, these were mules. These were big names.
Yeah. I think JT sounded off a little bit, said, hey,
this is about the golf ball rollback.
Yeah. Why are amateurs making the rules? I would say, JT, what do you propose? Do you want to govern yourself?
Let me back up for a second here. I think what this is about is essentially the premise of whether or not the PGA Tour is going to go along with the proposed rollback by the USGA and the RNA. A lot of the players quoted in this piece, I remember JT, I remember Brian Harmon, I remember Mav McNeely.
Harmon was super thoughtful.
I think JT's quotes were very, very tough. There was some interesting stuff from some of the other guys. But basically the premise, as I understand their position, is this rollback. There were some players who were saying, like, why do we even need to roll this? No one's even convinced me that we need to roll this thing back. To which I would say the 16th hole today was a 550-yard par 4, and nobody even like batted an eye. Everyone was like,
wedge.
Yeah, it was like, man, I think it's, I think it's not snowing at my house is not quite going to cut the mustard on this one. But the premise or the take that a lot of the tour players seem to have is like, if you are going to roll it back, this rollback is not going to cut it. This is not penalizing players properly. This is not doing this, that, and the other thing, which I think, if I'm bending over backwards to meet them halfway, I'm like, I think I see where you guys are coming from. We just don't have any proof of that yet. And what is getting really like making me want to pull my hair out about the rollback conversation at this point is I feel like there's the USGA is saying, here's the proposal, here's what's going to happen, here's what we want to happen, here's the intent. You have Fred Ridley saying, like, we need to bring back shot making, and failure is not an option, and we need to take commercial interests out of the game, and we need to do all of these different things that are like a lot of hell yeah, brother. Like, I'm with you on that stuff. And then you have the players saying, like, no, you guys don't get it. I hit the balls, and this isn't going to do what you think it's going to do. Which is where I'm like, man, if that's true, can we get that out in the forefront here? Like, if that's true, like, you would have to be stupid to just like bash your head against the wall and push through a bad rule. We just don't have the proof of that yet, to where I'm like, I feel like I keep finding myself just like so stuck on this conversation between like, well, I'm not a rocket scientist and I don't have a ball testing kit in my backyard here. So like, I got to kind of trust the USGA and the people who are in charge of governing the rules, that they're doing the right job, which is where you see quotes like JT's and all the like, why are we even letting these amateurs run things? Like, because they're the fucking governing body of the sport. Like, it's kind of the agreement that everybody is supposed to be operating under. However, if it is a bad rule, I'm like, yeah, we kind of need to know that too. So like, if somebody could provide something definitive, I think that would just help this conversation a lot more. Because if what they're saying is like, you take it to the next conclusion is like, hey, this is going to not punish the guys who are super high launch and low spin, they're just going to hit it even farther. Or high launch and high spin, I should say. I even get confused like talking about this. Basically, it's going to punish those guys. It's going to, it's going to not punish those guys. And it's going to punish the guys who are low launch, low spin.
Henley.
Yeah, like if we're going towards like punishing guys at massively different levels, but also those guys have access to trucks and shafts and launch monitors and can kind of game the system and get those losses back quickly, that's where I'm like, oh, well, shit. Well, we don't want to get to a point where we're punishing the people without launch monitors more than the people with launch monitors. Like, that is a stupid idea. we just don't have proof of that stuff yet to where I start to kind of like spin my wheels on this.
Let's have let's have the legitimate conversation. Like I think Mav McNeely had some really thoughtful stuff in there. I think Brian Harmon had some really thoughtful stuff in there. I just think when like okay, JT, like who would you like to make the rules?
Right.
Like your dad's buddies at the PGA of America, they seem to be really on top of things. Like they're quote unquote professional golfers. You want Don Ray doing the fucking rollback?
I don't think Don Ray's doing much of anything these days.
We'll get there.
Reporting there.
Like karaoke.
Anyway, go read the shoe fact piece because it's good.
Yeah, I'm ready for some public numbers. I think is kind of where I'm at.
Harmon talked about in there, you know, maybe the driver would be the thing to target instead of the golf ball, even going so far as to say like maybe we should be playing Persimmon Woods, to which I'm like, hell yeah, brother. Yeah. I would love to see that.
Which is where I keep like, I feel like we're in this weird spot where I feel like half the class is on chapter 1 and half the class is on chapter 2. And if you're still debating like, no, it actually should be persimmon drivers. It's like, dog, we're so far past that. Like, what the fuck are you talking? That was the conversation 15 years ago. And it's like, no, the USGA has already rolled out a rule that is going to be rolled out in 20. Like the whole conversation now is just like, what is the point of this rule that's already been decided? Like the whole like, no, maybe it should be the tees is like, we're not even talking about that anymore. Everybody's moved on from that, which is where it kind of gets to like even the Fred Ridley stuff. We're just like, no, we need to make it spin more. It's like, dude, that's not what we're talking about at all. That's not what this rule is. So
let's talk about all of it.
Like, I agree. And so but I'm like, well, how do you get from, I don't know how you connect the dots on those two things.
Well, and then if you do the rollback wrong, it's going to poison a well on everything. And then there's no trust.
Yeah. So it's hard to be like, man, I so agree with so many things that people are saying, but also I see where people are coming from on, well, maybe that's not the way to get there, you know, and it just leaves you with this kind of clunky middle ground.
I'm all for the conversation, the debate, and I just think it's funny when JT joins the conversation.
Yeah.
Deej, this was a real doozy. The tax on private golf courses out in LA.
Yeah, this was a good one. Randy, I think I feel like these guys are after your heart here. Essentially, I mean, this is the Malcolm Gladwell podcast from a couple years ago.
I did get inspired by it.
You know, what is it? Highest use case of land or whatever that rule is. Essentially, what stuck out to me, TC, was it would apply to, so this is a LA city councilman, I think.
Yes, LA city councilman Adrian Nazarian, who's proposing a parcel tax of $4 per square foot. Now this would have to go, through city council, then voter approval, but basically going after like the 6 country clubs that pay a combined $811,000 a year in property taxes and cover about 1,000 acres that are valued at over $15 billion.
Yeah, which
LA Country Club, Bel Air, Wilshire, Riviera.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I love golf.
Seems pretty paltry there.
Yeah, I love golf. I'm not saying we need to swing the hammer all the way, but like that seems maybe a little.
No, I know Randy's a big Spencer Pratt guy, and I know he's running for mayor against Karen Bass.
Oh, absolutely.
So I need to know where he stands on
from
this.
The hills or something.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, exactly.
This guy kind of looks like Reitan, doesn't he?
A little bit.
Ooh. Yeah, this is a fraught one, TC. I don't know.
Right, we'll keep tabs on it. Guys, first lady captain in the 300+ year history of the R&A.
How about that?
Claire Dowling.
From Ireland, right?
68-year-old Irish woman. She's been a Curtis Cup captain in the past. She played in the World Amateur Team Championship. She played 4 times on the Curtis Cup team. She chaired England's golf handicap and course rating system. She's a badass.
Just a golfer.
And I bet
lifelong golfer.
I bet the old boys over at Muirfield are.
Oh God, I bet that was a lively lunch.
Cheers.
God, that's great. Great life in golf. Well rewarded. Need to get her on the
Amen.
pod.
All for it. That's sick. Also, John Hopkins had some absolute heat in Global Golf Post this week. He said that he was quoting some RNA members. The prospect of the game's oldest major championship leaving the shores of England, Scotland, and Northern Ireland for the shores of another country is not one that is universally welcomed. We are a royal charter, British, and the Open is British to our core, said one RNA member. It has been held in Britain for more than 150 years. How on earth could we think of taking it out of the UK? Portmarnock is not about anything other than the honeypot of Dublin, with 12 major U.S. corporates who will buy endless corporate hospitality and make the thing a financial success. There's a $350 million economic benefit to the area the Open Championship goes to, and we're going to take that to Ireland. It has me fizzing.
Fizzing that's a great word.
So, and then he goes on to bemoan the demise of the apostrophe from Royal Lytham and St. Anne's.
Yeah, quite like at length.
Sick. I'm
Yeah.
A footnote: Royal Lytham and St. Anne's has been at the center of one of the great debates in golf. Is Royal Lytham and St. Anne's with an apostrophe, or Royal Lytham and St. Anne's without an apostrophe? The dashed apostrophe. Where does it belong? The Lytham Century and Beyond, first published just after the turn of this century. I actually have that book. Includes the apostrophe, but the blessed and late lamented The Golfer's Handbook, a Bible of the game, did not. Nor does anybody else much since.
The whole UK versus Ireland thing is, there may have been some people that incriminated themselves by saying it's not called the British Open. You know, all those tweets, all those screeds, all the yelling about how you dickheads got to stop calling it the British Open. It's the Open Championship is like, well, I don't know.
can't have it both ways.
You see, walking through a couple of those clubhouses last week in England, I was seeing a lot of old signage with the British Open. Seems like they might be coming back around on that name. I don't know. It's interesting. It's interesting.
So, Randy, I think with the demise of this Lytham apostrophe, I think this goes part and parcel with growing the game. And
Yeah.
you know, how are we to grow the game without this apostrophe? How are we to grow the game with a rolled back golf ball? And you asked a really, really powerful question this week in our Slack. You said, I think we should start asking, what level are we trying to grow the game to? What's the goal or the end point? When will golf have been sufficiently grown?
Yeah. It just struck me. I don't know if it's like Bryson and the LIV stuff. You know, Nelly's been going to I just want to inspire and grow the next generation. I propose anytime from here on out, somebody mentions the words grow the game, I think you have to ask the follow-up, to what end? To what, where are we trying to grow the game to? How will we know when the game has grown? You know, I want people on the record giving their opinion on where we're trying to go with growing the game.
And quantity versus quality, right?
Yeah, I mean,
It's up
it
to you
seems that way
proposal.
for a lot of people, but maybe that's not, maybe that's not everybody's rubric or metric. It just, we've been waterboarded with grow the game, but like, what does that even mean? How are we not asking the follow-up question?
Few companies and individuals and stakeholders in the game like lining their pockets because more people are playing in course. Like, I'm all for like sustainably growing the game, but I'm not for just like jamming the game with a bunch of dipshits who are going to run people over in their golf carts on Saturdays.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I reach breaking points every now and again, and I feel like we need to start asking more questions around growing the game.
I was joking about this, but I wrote down at 3:48 p.m. this afternoon, there were 3 different televised men's professional golf events, all ending at the same time. And I just don't know how much more we can grow the game, Randy. Like, I don't know what else we can. There's no more room to grow the game. Like, I don't know what we're doing. I feel like it's I don't
It's
know.
grown. I think
it's pretty grown. Go try to make a tea time right now.
Grown ass game.
It's a grown ass game, man. It is. It really is.
Cody. What's the game looking like down in Dallas where Bryson
It's grown.
lives?
It's grown, man. That's what every time, Randy, when you said this earlier, I was like, yeah, man, like, what does that even fucking mean? Because I feel like the people, like, outside of new participation, right? You have to have a place for them to go. And the people that were doing that is National Links Trust. And we obviously see, like, the big hand of government coming down on them and being like, nah, motherfuckers, you ain't grown that here.
You want to privately fund this?
Your time's out of here. So who's responsible for this? Is this what fucking Don Ray's working on?
I think again, we're not
Where's
sure what
the
Don
first utterance of growing the game? I'd be curious. We should do a deep dive. Like, where did this really break through? Yeah,
probably that podcast that Rory did on Golf Pass.
Well, it's a good, like, to your point, Randy. It's like it's kind of a joke and it's kind of a haha, but at the same time, it's like, well, no, what are we actually talking about here? Because I think everybody, like, the pretty logical strain that I think at least you talk to pro golfers and executives and whoever is like, oh no, somebody's going to watch the golf on TV and then they're going to go pick up a set of clubs and they're going to want to go play for themselves, which is great and a very nice string to follow. Also, we seem to be just like shuttering public golf courses without any end in sight. And I know there's a couple of efforts to, push back on that, but I'm like, no, the grow the game stuff is like local city governments trying to keep munis open and trying to add driving ranges and trying to add chipping areas and trying to add all these different things. It's not more televised golf. I don't think. I think we're pretty good on that one, about 49 weeks a year.
Minus the LPGA.
Yeah. It's just, it's pretty bleak and pretty like craven and kind of just a shield. Yeah.
it's the worst. Yeah. It's just such a shield. That's exactly what it is. Like, you say grow the game and it's like, no, sorry, can't touch me after that.
The Rib was on this. He was on the New Heights podcast, TC's boys this week, and they brought this up to him, and they actually asked him, like, "What does grow the game mean? Like, what does that actually mean?"
Well, they're asking the tough question. I apologize to the Kelsey brothers.
And his response, he used the park, of course, as an example, and he's like, the issue that you have with the park is that, like, you need a bunch of, like, very wealthy people to buy the land, to actually, like, invest in the property, bring the right people in, Gil Hanse, to develop this project. And I'm like, yeah, that's great. But that's not what, like, public golf actually is. That's a public-private partnership. But the majority of public courses are still owned by municipalities. And I don't know who's going out to these city governments and things like that and, like, teaching them, hey, man, you guys have full tee sheets now. Are you taking that revenue?
Entities. Yeah.
Are you taking that revenue and, like, figuring out how to improve the asset that you have, or, heaven forbid, develop new ones? Because
actually, Cody, what they're doing is they're taking a lot of the revenue that gets generated at these local golf courses, and they're using that to subsidize the rest of the parks department. Yeah, which is disgraceful in my opinion.
I like parks.
That's a tough one. I don't know.
Listen,
but why should golf have to?
Like, if you're also developing more golf, then yeah.
Like, you should put it like, all right, if it's generating a bunch, you should invest in your product, and then you can subsidize the rest of the parks department with some portion of that, but reinvest in the product there, and it becomes a flywheel. I
wonder, there has to be, there's so many organizations in golf that are actually, like, looking at this, that are supposed to be, like, overseeing the growth of it, whether that's not just individual players, but properties and everything else. And I just think that it's right, Randy. People become so immune to just be like, grow the game, grow the game, grow the game. What are you doing with all this money you got? Growing the game. What the hell? It just seems like people are just stuffing that, like, trying to figure out how to grow it in their wallet, bro.
Stuff it in their pockets.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a broad brush because there are organizations doing a lot of that stuff, and I look at like the PGA Junior League is where I'm like, man, that seems like a perfect example of what we're talking about. I think what it all comes back to, I think I'm not an expert on this, but it's like there's still just a finite amount of space to do it. There's a high barrier to entry. It's a hard thing to grow and to turn people from TV watchers, which we don't even know if that's where a lot of this starts, or if that's where like the life cycle starts, is watching some like overstuffed with commercials 6-hour telecast and just being like, God, I can't get enough. I need to get out and play. I don't know if that's totally true. I don't know if it starts at Top Golf. We've kind of seen like maybe that bubble's burst a little bit. I think it starts with like, munis and the driving ranges and going out and putting with your dad or your brother or your sister or your mom, whoever. And that's
caddies.
Caddies is another one. That's the like, I don't know. It's a very, very good question, Randy, that again, like starts as kind of a joke and then ends up becoming like pretty cynical and pretty bleak, pretty fast.
We're about to be bombarded this week with like PGA of America propaganda, rightfully so, and how great the 29, 31, 34, whatever number thousand it's going to be this year.
They're all hanging on Don Ray's every word. And
there are some amazing golf professionals out there that are doing like truly incredible things. But man, TCU asked me like how things are going in Texas, at this like horrible place that I go practice. The club pro could not be bothered with life, man. And I'm like, I know he is not the shiny example of it, but that's like a pretty good experience that most people have when they roll up to like any sort of municipal golf course. And
I think
the interaction is done with like the bag drop guys or the ladies like giving you a Coke or anything else like that. But I don't think like they're not involved in any ecosystem here.
Well, Cody, I think the other thing is like the good ones that are out there haven't gotten dick for support the last decade, 2 decades from the PGA of America too. Like it's just a broken organization that doesn't like, they don't even like, we get notes all the time from pros who are like, oh, like you guys like at the local level, at the state level, at the regional level, at the national level, like the amount of dysfunction and distrust between these different organizations.
Right. The difference between chapters and sections versus the national committee.
Yeah. And it's just, you know, it's like, and there's plenty of good, like here in Florida, I've had great interactions with the Florida State Golf Association. And that's not the PGA of America. But there's also some PGA of America pros that work for them and all of that stuff. But there's, you know, it's just like the administrators of golf shouldn't be demonized or tarred and feathered, kind of like what JT was suggesting there, like, you know, sticking his nose up at quote unquote amateurs. Like, all right, I guarantee you these people have thought a lot more.
They're professionals at their job, man.
Yeah. And I think that
they're not professional golfers. They're actual experts at bullshit.
There's been a lot of people with the PGA of America who just got promoted beyond their station and have really harmed the organization. So hopefully we get back. We've got a transcript or a Eamon Lynch article interview with the new PGA of America CEO here in a bit. So
this is interesting as you guys were talking. Sorry, and kind of tying it back to that tennis story about pros speaking about boycotting majors because of they're not giving away as much money to the players. I'm on the USGA website. Guess how much they promote in direct, like, quote, we give this amount of money to growing the game, including first tee, LPGA, USGA girls golf, and drive, chip, and putt. What do you think that number is annually?
Literally don't even have a guess.
80 million?
$2 million.
$2 million?
Yeah.
It's on the website?
On the website. $2 million annual investment in growing the game, including first tee, LPGA.
Maybe they're on our side. Maybe the game's at a good spot.
Yeah.
So I would love, I know this will never happen, but it'd be curious, you hear a Bryson or you hear somebody, I just want to grow the game. I want to grow the game. Well, what about less purses? Should we be giving more money from the U.S. Men's Open to grow the game initiatives?
Yeah.
I don't think they would, when it hits their bank account, I don't think they would necessarily want to grow the game that much.
Which is kind of always been my, my bugaboo with some of the majors is like, if you're the PGA, if you're the USGA, if you're Augusta National, if you're the RNA, there is an impetus to prove during all of those commercial slots. Like this is why those PSAs all exist, and they do such a bad job of being like, no. Here's why we're only giving this percent to. We don't exist only to put on the Open. We exist to do all of these other things. We're not here just to make the PGA Championship is supposed to fund all the other shit that we're supposed to do. And when I am sitting here as a professional golf podcaster, amateur golfer, professional golf podcaster, and saying like, yeah, I don't really know what you guys do. I'm like, that seems like the disconnect, man. Like that's the problem, is either it's not happening or you're not telling the story the right way. And
I think the USGA has done a lot better job of that over the last 3-4 years with Juan and I think Golf Course Superintendents Association, like there's good stories to be told. I think that the PGA of America is just in last place as far as telling that story.
Well, and I think the USGA too, like again, self-serving, but like I go back to the U.S. National Development Program video that we just got done doing. And their whole ethos was like, no, we're starting with the tip of the spear so that we figure out what works so that we can get some best practices for how to make asterisk tally into a world beater. And then we're going to waterfall that down into the state teams. And then we're going to waterfall the state teams down into whatever else. And I'm like, oh, that makes sense, because they're not like putting up a sandwich board that's just like, come hit golf balls today. Like, who gives a shit whether you stick around or not? Like, they're trying to promote the game in like a certain way, which is not just like, come please try my product, come please try any sort of golf, is like not a very sticky way to do it, and not what they're interested in
which
doing.
I actually dig. Like
I do too. Totally.
Like I'm kind of speaking out of both sides, but I think golf is a sport where it should be just as much as people find it as it finds people. And I made fun of the old TaylorMade guy for his, he wants to have giant cups, make things, and I'm like, that's what I have no patience for.
Totally. Like,
meet golf where it is, and golf will meet you. It's just better opportunities to meet people where they are, maybe.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. There's like a couple thousand people who play golf for a living, and there's 30 whatever thousand people who work in the business of golf at the PGA of America. And then you could say that you can build that out to companies and everything else that work in the greater golf ecosystem. And then there's like millions of people who actually play and enjoy this game of golf. And when they go down the Roback conversation, it's always of the defense of the amateur golfer. And like Tom and Joan and Tim and Kathy, who are out there playing, don't give a fuck about what their golf ball does.
Yeah.
And I understand that's the hard part where golf is like trying to make it so it's on both sides. But geez, man, it seems impossible.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if we're going to solve it. We'll cap it there, but Randy, it's a very good question that is now going to be in the back of my head every single time somebody says.
Yeah, it's a great thing to tee up before this week when we get, we'll have the new CEO's presser. Sounds like Don Ray's not going to be sitting next to him. I mean, Deej, let's go there next.
Yeah.
Let me see here. So Eamon Lynch had a great interview with the
Terry Clark, right?
Yeah, Terry Clark, who
scary Terry.
I think he's probably very excited to be in his new role and out of the United Healthcare sphere. He's a lot of corporate gobbledygook, didn't really offer a lot of specifics, but also said, hey, we do have to change some things. We do have to transition to, some clear messaging and themes and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
He's got entrepreneurial DNA. He said he's been United Health Group. He's been, he worked for IAC, which is Barry Diller's shop, Ticketmaster. So obviously companies that are cartels or act as somewhat of monopolies.
Don't know anything about Terry. Wishing him all the best and rooting
I've heard
hard,
good things.
Rooting hard for the PGA of America, but I don't want golf to be more like Ticketmaster or United Health would be my
or
first,
Expedia.
or Expedia. That would be my first order of business. But
God, I've seen this line, entrepreneurial DNA. That gets me fired up. I love when people talk about
Says,
themselves.
then we're
like
going to talk about the opportunity. Everyone says grow the game, but what does that mean? What are the programs we're doing with our membership to get at that? Golf is strong right now, but I don't think that can be translated to complacency. Got to keep getting at it. So we'll talk about those initiatives we're looking on growing the game. And he said, championship excellence will be one of his other ones. And then career path and opportunities for training and actually taking care of their members and stuff.
Which does sound like the hierarchy of needs, right? I mean, that does sound like all the tick boxes of like, what do we need to address here with the PGA of America? I just hope it doesn't.
Out. Yeah.
Championship excellence is an interesting one.
We shouted out the Australian Open tennis as like, hey, that's a really good benchmark of like, they were the clear fourth place, as far as the majors go in tennis. And they have been wildly creative and just competitive as far as rethinking everything. And it's become like Randy, we went a few years ago. It's become like one of the best events in sports.
It's fabulous. God, I'm blanking on that guy's name, but he actually he's going over to the USTA now. So it'll be interesting how the Aussie Open kind of backfills and continues on without, I don't know the guy's name, but his leadership.
And then they get into Don Ray. Eamon said the PGA of America president is usually part of that media event, but it's been reported that your current president, Don Ray Jr., won't even be on site for the tournament. He was obviously a lightning rod for criticism several times last year. Has he been muzzled by the PGA of America? Okay, so let me answer your first point. Don will not be on stage with me. I know that. We've got Don operating in a different lane right now. That's very, very focused around membership. I'm the one that should be projecting the external voice of the organization around things like this. Eamon comes back, but has he been muzzled? Quote from Terry, Don has been asked to specifically focus on those non-public facing membership responsibilities. Eamon, and he's happy with that role. I can't comment for Don. I talk to Don all the time. He's still very active in his work with the board. Part of me deciding to come in was going to be that I've got specific support to be able to do the job. So I think part of that is I should be the spokesperson at this event. Then he gets into, is the governance model fit for purpose?
Which is a great question. This is not a whole PGA of America pod.
25 people on the board.
Well, that and the whole idea of like, the new president just comes in every 2 years is just so stupid. It's just all like, it's wild. But yeah,
Sorry, 22 people on the board.
It sounds like Don has been moved to storage room B. That we will not be.
Milton Ladder.
It's to keep his stapler.
Yeah. God, that's a wild. What a rise and fall. I mean, for a job that's just like you guys do this for a living. Name me 5 other PGA of America presidents. It's like such an easy job to just fade into the background. And
Ted Bishop's the only other one.
It's like Ted Bishop, Don Ray,
Susie Whaley, right?
Yeah, but it's like there's a bunch of others that are like, oh yeah, there's that guy that did. Yeah, I can picture him, but I don't remember. It's just an easy job to fade into the background. And our guy Don did not do that. You got to commend him on some level.
I would also I would tell the PGA of America, some of their 22 people on the board, a few of them were pretty vociferous in their support of Don. So I would maybe poke around in that 22 person board and take a look at who went out of their way to support Don, like Gideon Yu, one of the co-owners of my beloved 49ers, Randy. He was very, very supportive of Don. So anyway, good one from Eamon. Go read it. What else? We haven't even gotten to LIV yet, guys. Let's just.
Oh God, we're 2 hours in.
Scott O'Neill, big presser this week. Whole transcript was spectacular. You go to ASAP Sports and get that if you want to.
TC opened with a big thing about Mother's Day and how he wanted everyone to stop and text.
Thank you all for coming.
Phone, text your mother.
Before we get started, this is Mother's Day weekend on Sunday. For all those of you, like he went on for like 3 minutes on this. Then he said, "This is the largest meteor room we've had. Very cavernous." And then, yes, it's beautiful. With that, we'll dive into it. People are calling him Michael Scott O'Neill. We're going to aim to be as transparent as possible. Scott is going to answer as many questions as he possibly can. There may be some topics we can't cover. We will be clear when that is the case. Let's see here. He said, maybe another elephant in the room. We talked earlier about bringing in advisors who are experienced in building financial plans, business plans, even restructuring. Is that something that we're thinking about right now? This is from Ilana Finley, the media official. Scott O'Neill. I mean, we have these advisors. We're locked in on going to market with a plan. This is transaction. That's what I wake up thinking about. That's what I go to sleep thinking about. That's what I think about when I'm eating. That's what I think about when I'm on the golf course. That's what I thought about when I was walking beautiful Trump National out here. This is our 100% of my time. Our time is focused on driving to a transaction. This is business, Randy.
That's all it is. I mean, transaction.
Somebody asked a question. You mentioned that the value is in the teams, but how do you sell a team like the Cliques, for example, when you don't know what players are going to be a part of that team? Scott O'Neill, is this a Cliques question? Or is this just an example? Or did you have just a random example? Yeah. Or say Crushers. Okay. Crushers. Okay.
I don't know, the process, pick any team.
So the way the process will typically work, and I might be getting ahead of myself, is that we're going to create a business plan. We're going to lock arms with the players. We will go to market and raise money on the top on a league level. And then we will go get investors in teams in that order. So we should have the players on the team. They should be locked in. So glad we got that.
I've read that a few. I'm still like, huh?
Which
I don't think he answered the question.
No, and
Meanwhile,
also if we want to go backwards, it's like, so you're going to guarantee that the players can play on the team, but then they're also going to get OWGR points, even though they're guaranteed a place in the league. Is like, oh, great. Now we're just back to square.
Well, and you don't have any money to pay these guys their guaranteed contracts. And John Rahm, for instance,
you don't have business plans.
John Rahm,
billion-dollar entities we're talking about.
John Rahm said, "So I don't see many ways out. And as of right now, I'm not really thinking about it since we still have a season to play and majors to compete for. So it's not something I want to think about just yet." So he sounds like a hostage in this whole thing.
Yeah, he was talking about how his contract was written ironclad. They thought about all this already. It was just not good vibes. Fine vibes from Rahm. I feel like he was just kind of telling it like it was, but I wouldn't say it's a great rallying cry for the LIV Golf League.
Meanwhile, Rahm got a framework agreement done with the DP World Tour.
It's true. That happened
for Ryder Cup eligibility.
Yeah, huge. Interesting timing.
He said they gave a little bit. He gave a little bit. Still taking his principled stand, but it sounds like he's going to be showing up at the Spanish Open. Unless I think his wife's due with their next child right around that time frame. So we'll see. Bryson chimed in. He was teaching the kids in the Oval Office, and he was doing pull-ups and push-ups with Gary Player at the White House.
Look, you kind of got to hand it to. It looked like kind of an electric event out there.
Todd Golden was there, your guy, Randy.
I'll say this too. I always enjoyed Presidential Fitness Test Week in gym class growing up. Like I don't even have anything snarky to say about that. I do enjoy it.
Gary Player had a warning for the youth. He said, "I say to the young people, just love this country because you don't realize what's going on around the world. There's this silent war taking place against America today. What we've got to do is make sure that these kids realize that freedom, exercise, and education start with reading some books. So what you put in your body is so important. What a wonderful job Trump has done. And to all your cabinet members, I say thank you for maintaining this great word, this cherished word, freedom." And then Bryson said, "The egos need to get dropped. Everybody needs to come in with a level-headed playing field with an opportunistic mindset to grow the game of golf. That's why I came over here. That's why I do what I do on YouTube." What do you say to that, Randy?
How stop me, Bryson. My hands are moving further apart. How much do we have to grow the game? You tell me. Let's get him on the record.
More Bryson. I think from my perspective, I'd love to grow my YouTube channel 3 times, maybe even more. DeChambeau said, well, practicing Tuesday in preparation for this week's LIV Golf tournament at Trump National. I would love to. I'd love to do a bunch of dubbing in different languages, giving the world more reason to watch YouTube. And then I'd love to play tournaments that want me. He also took some shots at PGA Tour. He said, look, the PGA Tour isn't doing great either. Let's be honest about the situation. They've got the media. They've got everybody on that side that helps pump it up, but they're reducing field sizes, cutting employees, and restructuring their business too.
So we're
Totally
just the same.
So really, it's kind of the same situation if you look at it. Lucas Herbert won this week, by the way, if we didn't mention that already.
He was playing some good
Congratulations,
G. He was kind of in the zone the first 2 rounds. You do have to hand it to him.
There was like one person within 10 shots of him. It was an ass.
Maybe Lucas Herbert and what was our guy's name? The other one? Premwell. You're up,
yeah,
Premwell. Maybe they need to have like the match.
Grow the game.
Mano a mano.
Yeah. Guys, I think we're rounding from home here. We've covered a lot of ground. Here. There's a great Guy Kinnings interview I would recommend people go check out. I believe this was in Today's Golfer. Go read that one.
Anything earth-shattering from that one, or just
no? It's just a good. It kind of goes hand in hand with the schedule podcast, I think, and like kind of this loose idea that like, is the DP World Tour going to be a feeder system to the PGA Tour? Is it where are we at? And there was just some interesting stuff about kind of the DP World Tour owning sort of September to January, and then laddering up to kind of a larger
thing I took away,
a larger PGA Tour kind of ladder, which makes a lot of sense to me. Which TC we talked about in the schedule pod, but like if you can get to the situation where like like I've got some framework for what, on Saturday morning and I turn on the Italian Open or the BMW International or the British Masters or whatever, and there's sort of a cohesive path that leads to, I think that's a dub. I think maybe for our friends across the pond, the reality of the situation is probably going to be that's going to ladder up to golf in America with bigger purses, but I don't know, kind of feels like better than nothing, seeing as how the PGA Tour is underpinning a lot of those purses to begin with, and just kind of what the general state of that tour is right now.
Yeah, I'll be fascinated to see how they fold the tier, the track 2 stuff and the kind of the rank and file DP World Tour stuff together.
Yeah,
there's a tie-in or a points thing. Bob Herrig had a good, sit down with Ian Poulter. He had all sorts of thoughts on LIV as well. GMAC had some thoughts. He said, I was ready to jump ship and go get a real job. McDowell said before practicing yesterday in advance of this week's LIV Golf Virginia event. And
I think he meant televising golf, like commentary stuff, I believe.
And then these guys came along and said, hey, we're going to do this tour. Do you want to come play? I love playing. I love competing. I regret a few of the things I said in the beginning, stuff like growing the game. I should have just said it for what it was. This is good for my bank account, and I'm getting a runway to play the game of golf as long as I possibly can. Love hearing that.
I love it. I love GMAC, man.
That's a fitting coda to this.
Yeah,
that would have been.
That's why it was so frustrating, because he's the man.
You come out with that day one, and it's like hard to like. You can agree or disagree, but that's what it is. You know.
Yeah. TC, I think that takes us kind of to the end of the notebook, man.
That's it. Yeah. Long note, big notebook. I apologize, everybody.
No, it's great. Can triple binders.
Mitt Romney binders.
We got a big week, obviously. PGA Championship this week. We're going to do a live preview pod tomorrow, which would be great. Looking forward to that. We're going to have live shows on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Looking forward to that. We mentioned you guys are going to be in Philly. Who's that? You and Solly and Neil.
Correct. And Cody.
Going to be in Philly for a live event on Tuesday night. That's going to be a blast. Come out if you can. Big trap draw week this week.
Yeah, we got Randy. I think he announced it on his podcast, so I'll just say it. Whit from Spittin' Chicklets is coming on.
We're talking puck.
Talking puck. I'm watching my Habs right now playing the Sabres. It's getting extra chippy. My Hurricanes playing really well. The Wild stepped up last night. Randy, you're Your Avalanche
Oh, they
might
clip the Avs. Yeah.
Yeah, they might bench their goalie, all sorts of stuff. Biz Nasty's been great on the intermission shows. So keep it up. Keep up the good work.
If you're a Nest member, we got a great Nest podcast coming this week. We did a little public golf draft, which was really, really fun. So people really showed some true colors, I would say, in that episode.
Solly couldn't name a public golf course.
No, that would turn out really, really great.
I would encourage people to familiarize themselves with Sunnyside, the par 3 course up in upstate New York.
It's a load bearing draft pick you had there. Yeah, if you're not a member of the Nest, go check that out. Other than that, guys, I'm looking forward to the PGA Championship. I'm ready to dive into some Aronimink research, the Mink. We'll have all kinds of picks. We'll have all kinds of live shows. We'll have all kinds of everything you could possibly think of over the next 7 days, and hopefully crown a worthy champion at the end. So 2 hours and 10 minutes after the Truist. Who'd have thunk it?
I mean, we had the whole
Longer
thing
than
with
they showed the LPGA
Real
on CBS
Golf
today.
Club del Prat.
About 45 minutes.
Randy, we're gonna take your story back this week. All right?
I was gonna say, TC, do me proud in Philly.
I love it. Well, shout out to Cody behind the scenes. Shout out to Matt behind the scenes. Thanks to everybody for watching. Thank you to Titleist. Thank you to High Noon, and thank you to Roback. We'll see everybody this week for the PGA. Cheers.
And shout out to the Miami Redhawks, Coach Fletcher.
Love and honor.